Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the shop. I appreciate your time stopping by. Time's a commodity, and I think I have a nice, interesting video tonight, or today. This is Screwy Tuesday number 36, and this is going to be about a new tool that I purchased. It's not brand new, but it's a used tool, new to me, called the BoreMate. And it's a boring head which will bore and do facing. But let's start off with a couple other things real quick. I had a visitor come by the shop. His name's Paul Boulet. He lives here about 15 minutes away, and we met through YouTube. He's a home shop machinist also. And a couple things. He came by, we had a great visit. He brought over his Holdridge ball turner, and we compared the different units. They were the same model but of different vintages. It was really a nice review of the tool and his experiences using his tool. He brought me something. I'm going to show it to you, but I'll show you mine first. So hopefully that's in focus. And what that is a tool that you put in your quick change tool post, and you can use the bearing to rub up against the part to bring it concentric or parallel to the chuck. So this one I built, I had it for an AXA, and just welded some dowels on a bar, and then when I had my CXA, just did that. And it works either way. You can have it this way on the tool post or this way on the tool post. Anyway, it's not a beauty. It works. Well, Paul brought me a little gift that he made, and I really appreciate it. He made a tool for me, and this will sit in a tool post holder, and it will do the same thing. Go into the parallel to the chuck, or perpendicular to the chuck, or parallel to the chuck. Really nice build. Thank you, Paul. The other thing that he brought was this little guy right here. Hopefully you can see that. And let's cut to a couple of photos, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back from that, and you can see this screwy ball hat. It's a pretty neat idea he came up with. As you know, the screwy balls can put a lot of pressure against the part, and his idea was to make this piece that picks up the radius and goes against the part. And he made it out of Delrin, and as you saw, he also made it out of brass and copper. So screwy ball hats may become a marketable item. We'll see. So with that, let's move on. Before we go on to the BoreMate, I have one other item I want to show you. I recently purchased another tool, and we'll flip to that video. So there, I got a logo of Tactical Keychains, Brad. And if I can figure out how to do cards, I'll put a card in there so you can go to his site. Well, I wanted to support Brad, and here's a knife that I ended up picking up. Flips open and to use, and I had it on my shop apron. And it was, cumbersome, it's heavy. I'm not one that wears a knife on my belt or a little holster or anything. And I had it on my shop apron, and let's see if I can turn the camera and we'll see that. And we see that. So I had it hanging here on my shop apron, and I'd pull it off, and I wasn't happy with it. So along with supporting Brad, I wanted to enhance my pleasures here in the shop. So let me turn the camera around and hopefully you can see it. Well, I'm hoping you can see this. As you can see right here, I have one of Brad's little knives, and I don't know the name or what he calls it, and the little pull tag off the magnet. So it's right here on my apron, and I can pull it off, use it, and flip it back. Really happy with it. Nice little sharp knife, placeable blades, beautiful construction. So anyway, that's my new toy for myself, and along with supporting my buddy Brad. Hope you enjoyed. Alright, we're back from that video. It's just a great little tool. Excited about it. Glad to support Brad, and tired of looking for my knife when I'm walking around in the shop. Okay, so let's go on with the main feature here. Let's do a review of the bore mate. I'm learning with the tool. I hope this information that I'm providing will be useful to anybody out there. And I think I say it in the video also, if anybody has any more information about this tool, it would be really helpful if you guys could provide that with me. And of course, as usual, come on, you're not going to come up. You going to come up? Oh, you got to kick the camera. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you're in frame, buddy. Too bad. Too bad. I don't think you're in frame. All right, guys. It's a great day here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's Sunday. It's raining, and the 49ers actually won a game under their new temporary quarterback, or maybe permanent, Blaine Gabbert. All right. I hope you enjoy, and as always, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. If you're new to the channel, I hope you stick around and subscribe. Oh, last thing. I'm just a few away from 6,000 subscribers, so maybe as you're viewing this today, I've already hit that mark. Again, thanks a lot. Hey guys, this is a new tool that I picked up the other day, and the product is called a bore mate, a boring and facing head, and this unit was manufactured in San Carlos, which is just up the peninsula from me. In doing some research on the web, and there's not much on the web, I did see that there is another manufacturer, machine and engineering company out of South El Monte, California. There's only 3 instances that I found on the web. 2 of them, all 3 were eBay, I guess. One on eBay sold for $500. Another one's listed at $1,800 right now, and the third one I couldn't find anything out on it. But let me give you some information about it. I was kind of fortunate. One of the listings on eBay did go on did give some information. There is no other instructions or anything, so I've been trying to learn the machine as I've been playing with it here. So let me give you a few dimensions. So from right now, from the top of the tool to the T-slot right here, which holds the tool, that's 7.5 inches. So it's quite large. From the top of the tool to the bottom of this tool holder is another inch, so it's 8.5 inches. From the tool holder to the top of my vise, that clearance right there is 6 inches. Now, in my table, my mill table is as far down as it'll go. So it would seem if this mill head had a riser on it, would be much more functional for height. And the distance from the tool holder again to the mill table is 10 inches. 10 inches of clearance is the max if you were to pin something down on the table. And yeah, as I mentioned, my table is all the way down. lateral adjustment, I've got it sticking out here right now, basically 2 inches of adjustment. So with the way it is right now and with the tool in here, I could basically do about a 5-inch diameter on this, the way this tool is right now. The adjustment dial here, it reads in the diameter. It reads in thousandths. So each complete turn is 100 thousandths, and so if I was to crank 100 thousandths on the dial, it'll cut 100 thousandths. Hope that makes sense. So whatever I dial, I cut. And let's see. Oh, tool holders. Right now, you can see this has a 3/8 cutter in here now. This holds a 3/8, and then there is a hole here, right here, and that holds a that'll take a 3/4 inch boring bar right there. Now I've been playing with it, trying to learn it. Let's see if I have any other notes. But I've been playing with it, trying to learn it, and it's been interesting. It's been fun. You can see that I've been goofing around here on this piece of Delrin, checking it. It actually, dialing in Delrin, dialing a bore in either direction, it basically reads pretty doggone close. So if I moved it 250 thousandths, I might have been short by about 5 thousandths. I dialed 5 thousandths in the dial, and I get my exact 5 thousandths cut. Let's talk about installation of the tool itself. That's what these instructions were good for. There is some instructions here on the on this unit itself. Instructions: clean quill, fill drawbar hole with machine oil. So I'll show you photos, but there's a drawbar in here, and you put oil in it. Push head onto quill as far as it will go. Tighten drawbar before lock clamping screw on side of head, which is right here. So the quill's down about 1.5 inches. You slide it on, tighten your quill bolt, and then you tighten the unit onto the quill itself. These instructions here are a little bit more. Again, it says, these instructions are not the one for this manufacturer. I don't know if it's this somebody sold the patent. It's but it's basically the same tool. So it says keep the bore-made boring head well lubricated for long life. To lubricate, fill hole in shank and the 2 oil buttons, which are on top of the unit right here. With good machine oil. So then you extend the quill down 1.5 inches and lock it in place. Clean the quill and inside a spindle opening. Line up the key inside the spindle opening with the key in the boring head. Place the shank of the boring head beneath the spindle opening and push upward. Be sure the key and keyway are aligned. When the boring head is as far as it will go, tighten the drawbar to assure boring head is in the proper position. When head is in the proper position, 1.5 inches of the quill will be inside of this housing. So basically there's 1.5 inches of quill in here right now. You have to get down below this pinch there. Place the boring head in position required and tighten lock nut in housing boss right here. Do not over tighten lock nut, too tight or you'll bind the quill. Boring head is now ready for facing and boring operations. To feed facing tool to increase diameter, turn hand wheel in the clockwise direction. To decrease diameter, turn in the counterclockwise. Feed rate is as rapid or slow as desired. Tool holder is positioned in a T-slot located in the cross feed. When a position is obtained, you secure your tool holder by means of a lock screw. To remove the boring head from the milling machine, loosen the lock screw in the housing, place hand under the unit, and remove your drawbar. So let me turn this in, and hopefully you can see there's the T slot they're talking about, which is the holds the tool. And my thought is this is an original piece. I've seen on the web on a couple photos you can make your own pieces because you're going into a tool slot there. And right now the tool's fully extended, and you can see if I crank back, it retracts the tool. Now one thing, I'm going to go handheld for a second, one thing about my mill, which makes it a little bit interesting for the installation, and luckily when I did my installation I was somewhat smart. Sometimes I'm smart, I guess. So I put a power drawbar unit on top of my mill, and this unit itself came off a variable speed mill, and a variable speed mill doesn't have the back gear slide here, and the unit bolts right to the top of the mill. Well, when I built this, I decided that I wanted I started off trying to clamp to this ring, and I finally decided not to do that. Hang on a second. I'm sorry for moving the camera around there. So once I extended the quill down 1.5 inches to attach the bore mate on, well, now my power drawbar doesn't engage. But when I did this installation of the plate that I did there, I was smart enough to leave a gap for a wrench. So in doing that, I did it for one main reason. When I built it, was that if I ever had a problem, that I could still manually get to the drawbar. If I wanted to actually tighten it or loosen it myself without using the power head. So luckily with my design that I did here, I could actually use the bore mate because I could actually tighten the quill by hand. So that's how I had to install it. I had to install it by hand. All right, let me get you back on the tripod there. Just get you in a little closer. You can get a couple views. When you're done moving it, you go ahead and you lock it as you're using the tool. Okay, let me bring the table up, and then we'll get in closer and show you how the tool works. Now, another thing I wanted to mention before I went on, and hopefully that's a decent camera view. See, I moved the tool again. So I moved the tool on purpose. So a couple things. I just put this piece of plate in here, and then just started fooling around, cutting down into the dowel ring. Well, the side of my edge of my vise on my DRO is set at 0,0 over here. So I came across, measured 3 inches, came across and scribed a line in the center here, and what it showed me, based on the cuts that I've been doing, is that the center line of the boring tool itself is on center with the quill. So that was something to figure out. So I guess what I'm saying is, if I was to be working on a part, I would possibly have to go ahead and dial the part in, get the table set 0,0, then put on the boring head. I guess it's similar with a criterion also. Think about that one. But anyway, so right now with the tool that's in there right now on the side there, the smallest bore would be about 1.5 inches. And hopefully that makes sense. Let me turn this. We're in back gear, so hopefully you can see that. But basically from center to the tool, it's about 1.5 inches. To go smaller, you'd have to use the boring bar inside. And the thing that I did learn is right now for moving out, I would be going from 0 to 2 inches plus on the scale that's on the front here. Again, I don't think you can see it, the scale. And if I was going to be boring small, then I would start at the 2 inches and come in the reverse. Hope all that makes sense. But let's get it lined up. And so I'm just moving the boring head out. That's pretty close right there. So let's do a little bore, a little push out, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to come down and just touch on the part. You can see them touching there, and we'll just crank out. I don't know if you can see. So, just for the fun of it, set 0 on the quill so we can come out of there. And let's now, one thing I haven't checked yet, I'll be honest with you, and it would really take another complete setup, is to see if I'm cutting perpendicular to the table. If this whole head arrangement that far out is doing that or not, and I have not checked that yet. But let's get in here. All right, so I got 3705. So let's fire it back up. I'm going to set the 0 on the dial here. Let's crank out. We'll crank out 100. There we go. So let's go back down. And we'll crank out 100. And we got it there. So we should have 805. Okay, looks like it actually went a little large. And of course, if we were actually going for something, we'd be sneaking up on it. Looks like about 813 there. Yeah, about 813. So anyway, that's all about learning the tool. So let's play around with this little nub here in the center. I'll reset up. So I don't know if you can read that in the scale there, but I'm basically at 0 on this scale, and you can actually go below 0. And if I was to go below 0, we'll go down to the tool, but that would give me about almost an inch and a quarter from center that it would go out. So that would be about 2.5 inches. But if we go back up to 0, and let me drop the camera back down. See, I've got the boring bar in there, and I'll just show you, using the boring bar. Again, just touching off. And here I'd actually be going below the scale, coming out. Now it shows you going that direction. So let me change the tool real quick. Going the right way? Yeah. So come back down and touch. You see we're going back out. Okay, hang on a second. Now I'm confused. Confused myself here for a second. No, we're going in. Duh. Okay. Wrong way. Okay. Try it again here. So now we're going the right way. So now we're heading in. You can see I'm just getting to that little nub that's in there. Just clean that off. And we can go all the way into 0. So if I was to punch a hole in there, I would start. If we were working in a hole, we would start with the scale up at top and work our way down. So hopefully this demonstration wasn't too boring. Pun on the word. It's kind of a cool tool. I'm going to have to use it a lot more to understand it more, but I wanted to share it with you guys. If anybody has any further info, if they could share it with me, I'd really appreciate it.